When World War II disrupted global supply chains, food scarcity became a daily reality for millions. Governments rationed staples, fresh ingredients vanished overnight, and families had to survive with whatever they could stretch, save, or substitute. Out of this pressure emerged some of the most ingenious, resilient, and practical recipes in modern history. These weren't meals designed for comfort or luxury, they were designed to keep people alive. Today, as food prices rise, natural disasters increase, and uncertainty becomes the norm, these forgotten World War II recipes are more relevant than ever. They rely on simple ingredients, long shelf life, minimal fuel, and maximum nutrition. Here are 8 lost World War II food recipes that could genuinely sustain you through almost any crisis. Woolton Pie, the ultimate ration survival meal. Created in Britain in 1940, Woolton Pie was named after Lord Woolton, the Minister of Food. With meat scarce, this pie relied entirely on vegetables, potatoes, carrots, onions, turnips and cabbage, bound with a thick gravy and topped with pastry or mashed potatoes. It was filling, cheap, and endlessly adaptable. Why it works in a crisis. Uses almost any vegetables available, high in fiber and energy, can be cooked over low heat or open fire. Mock apple pie, dessert without apples. Apples were often unavailable, so people turned to an unlikely substitute, crackers. By combining crushed crackers with sugar, lemon juice, and cinnamon, families recreated the taste and texture of apple pie, without apples. Why it works? Uses shelf-stable ingredients, boosts morale during hardship, requires no fresh produce. SOS, or creamed chipped beef on toast. A staple for Allied soldiers, SOS was made from dried beef, flour, fat, and milk, or even powdered milk, poured over toast or hardtack. It was cheap, salty, and packed with calories. Why it works? High-calorie comfort food. Ingredients store well long-term, and it's perfect for cold or high-energy situations. The British national loaf was, well, a whole-grain bread made with as little refining as possible. It was dense, dark, and honestly far more nutritious than your usual white loaf. This bread gave people sustained energy and all those essential nutrients they really needed. So, why did it work? Well, it was much more filling than refined bread, used less processed grain, and, it actually had a longer shelf life. Fresh milk spoiled so quickly, so, during the war, powdered milk really became a kitchen essential. Mixed with vegetables, grains, and sometimes just a few meat scraps, it formed the base of, well, countless stews. Why did this work? Powdered milk could be stored for years, it added protein and calcium, and it could turn even scraps into a complete meal. During the war, waste was absolutely forbidden. Even potato peels were scrubbed, boiled, and turned into soup with onions and herbs. You might be surprised, but this dish was actually quite nutritious, extracting every bit of value from food. It worked because it was zero-waste cooking, rich in vitamins and minerals, and, honestly, extremely cheap and sustainable. Sugar and chocolate were rationed, but carrots were, well, plentiful. So grated carrots stepped in to replace sugar and fat in cookies, creating a naturally sweet, moist treat. The beauty of this recipe is that it requires minimal sugar, uses common vegetables, and, really helps boost both calories and morale. Bones were never thrown away back then. Instead, they were simmered with barley, onions, and herbs to make a nourishing bone broth that provided protein, minerals, and warmth during those hard winters. This method works because it extracts nutrition from scraps, helps strengthen immunity, and, honestly, requires very little fuel and ingredients. These wartime meals weren't just about survival, they were about resilience. They taught families how to stretch food, eliminate waste, and stay strong under extreme pressure. In a world now facing climate instability, supply disruptions, and economic uncertainty, these lessons are, well, simply invaluable. You don't need fancy ingredients or modern gadgets. What you really need is knowledge, and WWII families certainly had plenty of it.